Thank you for having me, pal.
You guys, I am so excited for this episode. I've got my girl Amanda Hedgepeth here. She's in the Outer Banks, at the very bottom of the Outer Banks. Yes, and we're going to talk all about how Amanda moved her business, her family, her everything across state lines. And I am so excited to talk about this because we have been dreaming and thinking of moving, Sean and I, and the kids. And I'm like, selfishly, let me just get Amanda on this podcast so I can talk to her about what do we need to do? What mindset shifts we need to make? Like, how do I move a business? So if you're tuning in and you are ever interested in just moving, starting over, this is the episode for you. So welcome, Amanda.
Thank you for having me. You know, I love to talk about this.
Yes. Yes.
This year marks 10 years. This June is 10 years since we made this move.
Has it been 10 years already? Oh my God.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's wild. Can you just share? I mean, I know the story, but let's share it with the listeners here. Can you share your move and how you moved from Virginia Beach to a specific city in the Outer Banks and then moved again? Like, walk us through that, why you did it. Tell us everything.
Okay, we have a cute story. Okay. And it's just, I hope that people hear this and they learn to like listen to the little things and pay attention to the little things in life, because we were getting out of the car. We lived in Virginia Beach on the Parkway, orange, yellow lights, like couldn't really see the sky very well at night. And our 2-year-old, she loves stars. I mean, you know Cameron, she's like freakishly mature and smart at the youngest age, very articulate. And she's 2.5, and she looks up and she's like, we don't have stars here. Where are the stars? And I was like, she's right. Like, it's like city smog. Like, you really can't see anything beautiful. And I said, we're like getting out of the car, and she's just noticing this. And it was this one quick little moment. And I'm like, Mike, I think we have to move. And he's like, what? Why? We just moved to this part of Virginia Beach. We're finally in a nicer part of it. And I was like, she needs more stars.
Oh my God.
We need to do. And we started to just, this is the thing I want to tell people today. Like, we started to just say, at first it's like, yeah, okay, we need to move. Yeah, okay, maybe in 10 years.
Yeah.
But then that little seed got planted, and I was like, but what if we did, like, could we do it? Could we do it? Could you move your job? Could I move my job? And we decided that we could. We knew Mike would have to commute for a little while from Virginia Beach to the Outer Banks. Pretty crazy. Like, it was like 3 hours round trip every day, but we were willing to make that sacrifice to just get ourselves planted. But we, like 6 months later, we found a tiny little condo in Kitty Hawk.
Wait, let's pause there. 6 months after your daughter makes this statement that is like life-changing for you.
Whoa.
Let's pause there, because I have said, okay, maybe in 2 years, maybe in the 5-year plan, maybe when the kids graduate. You did this in 6 months. And I just want to remind people, yes, we can do it in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. But is there really a reason to wait?
Is there? Well, once the seed gets planted, you do start to say, like, hold on, like, logistically, does it really take 10 years to get there?
Right.
Like, because our goal, me and Mike's goal, was let's retire on the Outer Banks.
Yes.
But we went with a newborn. She was like 6 months old by the time we went. Ellie was. And Cameron's 2.5, and we're there. Like, that's not retirement. That's like brand new parents. And so when the seed got planted, the ball started rolling faster, because we just realized, like, hold on. My job is very movable. I'm a photographer in Hampton Roads. I shoot on the Outer Banks a lot. So for me, it was like, and I'll just be able to drive back, and Mike will drive back. Eventually he'll find something down there. It took him 2.5 years, but he did. And it was so worth it.
How far is, just for people who don't know the geography here, how far was Virginia Beach to where you moved? Distance?
About an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
So it's really not bad. But as you know, it's a world away.
It is
a world away.
It's a lifestyle away, okay, from Virginia Beach to the Outer Banks. Yes.
I used to like make sure I'm like dressed, looking nice everywhere I go in Hampton Roads. And here, like the uniform is like, you wear sweatpants. You don't care here. Flip flops everywhere.
I love it.
If you look nice, People are like, where are you going? Like,
Right.
it's just so casual. But I mean, really, it was only like an hour 45 tops.
Hmm.
So it wasn't the worst. It wasn't like that far away. It wasn't across the country or anything, but truly
Right.
a world away.
Totally.
And we did it in 6 months.
Wow.
And we were crammed. We knew it in the beginning. We knew we couldn't just move and get this big new house and this whole big new lifestyle. In fact, we wanted the opposite. We wanted to downsize. We
Hmm.
wanted smaller, decluttered. We wanted less. But we were crammed into a tight, like 900 square foot condo because it
Okay.
was a dream. We were the happiest we'd ever been.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
happiest we'd ever been. A
Hmm.
dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you moved again.
Yeah. Because then I
Even
had
further
another
away.
baby.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. I was like, okay, now we're 2 bedroom, five
Uh-huh.
people. Granted, a couple of those people are tiny little chicken nuggets, but still, I was like, so we
Hmm.
bought our first house, like one town over, because it's
Yeah.
not really cities here, it's towns.
Okay.
We one town over, bought a house on the water, on a
Yeah.
canal. It was like something out of Nicholas Sparks, like The Choice or Safe Haven.
Yes.
Like I was
Oh,
just like, this is a dream.
you know we love our Nicholas Sparks. We love it. We eat it up.
We do, and he bases so much of his stuff off of where I live,
Yes.
and you know
Yes.
that.
What a dream. What a dream.
Marsh and water and
Hmm.
seagulls and
Yeah.
buoys and wind chimes, all of it. It's all
Yeah.
here.
Wow. So you just moved slowly, like further and further away, moving your business further and further away. You've
Yeah,
got three beautiful girls. You and Mike are down in Hatteras, North Carolina. And I think
yeah,
your house now is even smaller than it was before. Like you love that small, cozy, intimate, very minimalist though. I mean,
yes, yes.
it's very inspiring.
This
It's
is as
very
cluttered as it gets. I got some lights on the wall. This is
I
a
love it.
cluttered room.
You guys just like, I love your family. You're so sweet. You're just like all over each other. Like you are living in your dream town, your
Yeah.
dream lifestyle. And it didn't take you 10 years. It didn't take you a year. I mean,
Well, we moved from that one house.
mhm,
We went from condo to house. And
yeah.
then during the pandemic, I'm like, the kids are home from school anyway. I'm
Hmm.
having to like homeschool. And our ultimate dream was retire. People think Outer Banks. I think that you know that your dad does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Everything's Nag's Head, but
Everything
it's
is
not.
Nag's Head.
Everything's Nag's Head, but it's really Corolla, Duck, Kitty Hawk, Kill Devil Hills, Nag's
Hmm.
Head. And then if you go an hour south of Nag's Head, that's where we are. We wanted to end up on Hatteras Island. And it's
Yeah.
remote. I mean, it's an island. If you look on a map, I'm up
Uh-huh.
in the ocean. I'm just like in the ocean
I
floating.
know.
But that was the dream.
I show like my dad and Sean, I show them where you're on a map because we go to the Outer Banks, a couple times a year. We're about 2 hours from there. And I'm like, my girl Amanda is at the way bottom. She's at the
The
way
ferry,
bottom.
next to the ferry.
When you were in Virginia Beach, so Amanda and I, we were local when she was in Hampton Roads. We were probably 45 minutes away from each other. Now for
Mm-hmm.
me to get to your house, it's what, 3 hours, I think. Is it that much?
Minimum. Minimum. If you hit no Hampton Road traffic. Because once
Yeah.
you get that, remember once you go over the border from
Hmm.
Virginia to North Carolina, it's smooth sailing. There's no more traffic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it depends on how much traffic you got to go through the tunnel and all the bridges and everything you got to go through. But
Exactly.
yeah, 3 hours. But it's just worth it.
It's
It's
so worth
worth
it.
it. The drive is, it's
So
worth it.
let's talk about your photography business and how you moved your business hours away, totally different vibe, lifestyle, different clientele. For people who are thinking, I really want to move my business, especially my service-based business, not my online business where I can work from
Yes.
wherever, but my service-based business where I've built, you had clients, you had photography workshops, you had a very local business to Virginia Beach. How in the world did you move across state lines in a totally different atmosphere and continue to thrive there?
Well, the thing about the Outer Banks is that it's a vacation spot. So
Hmm.
family sessions are in demand. So I knew I wasn't shooting a lot of family sessions in Virginia Beach. It was
Right.
mostly weddings and couples. And when I moved, I said, okay, either you need to really hone in on the fact that this is a big wedding destination and keep going that route, or family vacation sessions. And I did. It is in demand. So if you're moving somewhere and you have a business that's service based, you have to be like, what do people really want there?
Yeah.
What is in demand? And what can you there's never enough of a person to serve that Like there's never going to be enough family photographers for the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with family sessions, and now that's all I do. I don't do anything else. I don't do workshops. I don't do weddings. I only do that. And like I just never run out of business, and I have to turn so much
No.
down, but it's so much fun. But at first I was driving back and forth, fulfill those contracts and those
Yes.
obligations, get
Yes.
it done. And then I slowly stopped taking business up there because I didn't want to keep commuting.
Yeah,
It was
that's a
just too
long
much.
drive. So you pivoted. That's fascinating. You pivoted your business. You're still doing photography, what you love, what you're passionate about. You are still working with amazing clients, but you pivoted the genre, the type of photography, because you were doing mostly weddings in Virginia
Yeah.
Beach, and you pivoted to family photography. And now it's like when people go to the Outer Banks, they've got to get on your calendar way in advance because you're booked and busy, honey. You're booked and busy.
I am. And
I booked you on the Outer Banks. You photographed my family when we went.
And you know that I get busy because listen, between Memorial Day and Labor Day, we're
Mhm.
slammed. It's
Yeah.
just, it's family vacation season. And I still get a lot of business, but even better, a lot of those people that I served in Hampton Roads, they vacation here and they are
Yes.
still my clients.
Like me.
75% of my clients, yes, 75% of my clients are return clients.
Hmm.
I just keep growing with them, but this is like such a guaranteed vacation spot. Like I just know I'm going to get family sessions here forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah.
The demand has not gone down, and people could move here in huge groups, and tons of photographers could come here, and it's still going to be just in high demand. And my
Hmm.
business, I just keep getting to like raise my premiums and still book the same amount that I used to,
Yeah.
and it's such a gift. I mean, really, this was the right move for my business, for my family, for our health. There
Yeah.
it was endless benefits. Like we did the right thing. Thanks to Cameron complaining about the smog.
That one little sentence she said, that's amazing. You,
Powerful.
Amanda, you are the queen of simplifying everything, keeping things simple, decluttered, minimal, keeping it fun. Can you give some tips on if someone's interested in moving, those first couple of steps they should take to kind of like declutter, minimalize everything before they make a big move?
Well, for anybody moving anywhere, I don't even care if you move it down the street. Really, if you want to just like truly change your life, get rid of everything that you do not need or love. Like
Yeah.
there's just no point for anything in between. And when we were renting a U-Haul, I said, do we want to spend like twice as much on U-Haul just because we don't feel like sifting through stuff? We're just going to bring it all in, cram it into a smaller space for what?
Exactly.
For what?
Exactly.
I mean, do you need more than one cheese grater? No. Do I even need one? Actually, I don't. I'm going to get rid of both. Okay. Like that's how hardcore we went. And we have drawers. This always shocks people. We have like entire cabinets and drawers that don't have stuff in our house. Like,
Oh my gosh.
because
Wow.
it's so small. This
Yeah.
house is 800 square feet and
Wow.
it's not crowded.
Exactly. You guys have space to breathe.
Yeah.
I, that we moved houses. I think we're coming up on 5 years. We literally moved across the street.
You
We
did.
loved our neighborhood so much. We loved the schools that the kids were going to. And I was like, I was like, I love this street. I literally just want to move across the street to a different floor plan. And we moved 5 years ago, moved everything over. We literally I don't even know why we got a U-Haul, probably for the furniture, but like my dad was biking things over from
Oh,
one house
your
to another.
dad. Your
And
dad.
so this year, at the start of the year, Amanda, I told you I'm working in phases because Sean and I are pretty much set. We're moving. We're moving like next summer. We're giving ourselves like 18 months. I'm excited to share where. And I was like, I think every week, maybe even every day, I want to work in phases to declutter this home because we don't want to take everything with us to where we're going. We don't want to, like you said, have a big U-Haul of junk that we don't use. So since the 1st of January, I have just done like a drawer, a closet under the bathroom. And let me tell you, I went into my closet to declutter our closet. There were suitcases from the old house, from when we were bicycling and U-hauling across the street. We brought over full suitcases of stuff, Amanda. And I had opened them for the first time this week in 5
5 years.
years.
Uh-huh.
And when I decluttered our closet, it looked like I was decluttering a small apartment complex from everything that I put in our trunk to take to either Goodwill or the dumpster. And I'm like, I didn't use this stuff in 5 years.
You didn't
Why
miss it.
do I need it? I don't even want to open it. Some of them suitcases I didn't even open. I think my breast pump was in there from when I was pumping.
I don't want it.
Like, I don't need this anymore. Why do we hold on to so much stuff?
Fear, what if, not wanting to be wasteful, sunk cost bias. Well, I bought it, and so I don't want to get rid of it. Why? The money's already gone. You can never get the money back. I mean, maybe you can sell it. How much better did you feel when you went through a closet and knew what was in the closet, got rid of it, and now you have a actual functional space?
Yes, my morning routine has greatly improved since I did this because I go in there, I know where everything is. Like, I've done my closets, my kids' closets. Like, I'm working in phases. I'm like, we have 18 months to take this house down to the bare minimum.
Yes.
I
what else do you need?
Yeah.
You don't need anything else. My challenge for people is always, like you said, you know how you said closet, one drawer. Truly, that's all it is. You don't have to go. I'm the kind of person who's like, in 1 week, we're going to do every single room. Like, that's how I go. And it's exhausting. And then I have to recover for like a week. But it is literally one drawer at a time. My challenge to people is, what if you knew everything you owned and where it was located? That is freedom. That is peace. That is ultimately having control of your environment. We can't control anything else in our life. Why wouldn't we have the place we come home to recover from the world? Why wouldn't we have that be clean and just a nice, peaceful, decluttered space to exist in? There's too much stuff. If you're going to move, this is it's the time to do it. When you're putting stuff in boxes, don't just dump that drawer in there. Be like, no, we don't need 3 pizza cutters. And then what if it breaks? What if one breaks? Use a knife. You'll survive. Like, you're not going to like have a bad pizza experience. Truly, like, that's the mentality to have before you move.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing about moving, it is so daunting. I hate moving. You know, how could we make this fun? Like, my core value in life and business is everything is fun. How could we make it fun?
Who's with you on that? You could be like, I don't know if I should do this. And if it's fun, I'm going to be like, yeah, you should do it. Like, no matter what, if you box me anything, I'm going to be like, but is it fun?
Yeah.
Probably make it happen. This is how we made it fun. Okay. We watched Tiny House Nation all the time because we knew it's so much fun. Watch these people pare down from these huge houses into these tiny houses. You're going to learn all about like better storage, what you actually need to survive. It's adventurous, especially if you're moving into a smaller house. That makes it so much fun. And then it's also kind of like, oh, wow, they only have 500 square feet. So we have 8. You're going to feel very successful compared to them.
Yeah, you start sizing up each other.
You're like, okay, well, if they can do that, we can do this in 800 square feet. We also thought it was fun. Look at the online menus of where we were like, oh, we can order this when we get to this restaurant and Google the shop. Start to like look at these things in your town, watch YouTube videos. You sent me, I'm not going to say where, you sent me a YouTube video about where you're thinking of going. It's stuff like that, immersing yourself. Right. The farmer's market, malls, whatever it is, just going and following accounts online of that place. That makes it fun. You're going to already have all your to-do list, all the tedious stuff. So how can you make it fun? Like, that's what we did, is we just started to get excited about all the things that would be there.
I love it. I love it. Can we play a game, Amanda?
Oh God, let's do it.
Let's take a moment and play a quick game, and then I want to chat more about this. But the game, if you're up for the challenge, I'm going to give you some town names, and I want you to tell me if they're real or fake. Okay?
Pearl. All right, let's go.
The name of the game is called Real or Fake Town. So if you're listening in, you're watching, you can play at home. The name of the game is Real or Fake Town. So I'm going to say the name, and you just say real or fake. You ready? Okay. Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina.
It's real because I live there and people don't believe me.
I had to include that one. Okay. Yucksville, Illinois. Yucksville.
Anything ending in Ville, I almost am just going to believe it's real. Real?
It's fake.
Someone will make it one day.
Okay. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
Fake?
That is real, girl. What goes down there?
Oh my God.
Outlandish Falls, Virginia.
Fake?
Fake. You got it. Monkey's Eyebrow, Kentucky.
Fake?
Real.
No. People.
Can you imagine just like doing your taxes, like signing up for a credit card and putting like Monkey's Eyebrow, Kentucky? Like, I need to know who lives here. Please DM me.
Do you think they deal with being like, no, it's real. No, it's real. No, I didn't make a mistake. It probably happens constantly. That's awful.
Okay. Nasty France.
Real?
It's true. It's real. It's real.
It feels like it could be.
Okay. Drake, North Carolina.
Real?
No, honey. I had to put Drake in there. You know, I had to put him in there. Okay, thanks for playing. There are no prizes, just bragging rights, and you did pretty good. You did pretty good.
Okay. Just that some of this is real life. I'm like, come on, guys.
Who was like, let's move to Monkey's Eyebrow. Like, I want
That
to
was
know.
the worst.
If you live there, please let me know how it is there. I want to come visit. Okay, so Sean and I are thinking about moving. We're in Virginia now. We would love to move to Florida. We would love to move to Florida. And it's not an hour away. It's a whole couple states away. We can, fly there on a direct flight. But girl, our family is in Virginia. My family, his family, we're both born and raised in Virginia. It is wild that we are even considering this because it's such a big move, a big lifestyle change. Do you have any like specific tips? I do branding photography. I also run an online business, but moving my service-based business to another totally different town. Do you have any tips for putting myself out there before I even get there?
The best people to ask about this are military spouses.
Ooh.
Because they have given over the years. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? How do you start from scratch? The one thing I would say is, a year before, because people do this with the Outer Banks, at least a year before you plan on moving, change your website to where you live now and that place. There's a lot of people who
serving
a lot
Virginia
of people serving Pennsylvania and the Outer Banks. It's a big thing, especially when someone owns a vacation home here, wherever they live, Maryland, Ohio, they write serving Ohio and the Outer Banks.
Love that.
And then people inquire with them and they book and they do a really good job. If you're going to move, if you want to not take clients at a certain point, like where you live now, you would probably just go ahead and switch the whole website to like this town. I'm going here. But military spouses, I feel like, are the best people to ask that because they've had to do it so many times, different countries. Look at them go. I'm like, look at you go into different countries. How did you get that business?
It's wild.
Booking people.
It's wild. It truly is. And I just love that you shared what changed things for you. Like just Cammie saying that she, couldn't see the stars, like that changed everything. And how many times in our lives do things happen like that we just kind of brush off?
Right.
Like, can you really sit in the moments where you felt something and like let yourself feel it instead of just brushing it off? Like we stayed in California for a month. We stayed in California for a month this past summer, and it was on my bucket list for years to move because I'm born and raised in Virginia. I was like, I want to see what it feels like to live somewhere else. Put groceries in the fridge, join the local YMCA, go to the farmer's market, put clothes in the dressers. And we were there for 30 days. And I don't think I'd ever really talked to Sean about like moving before this trip. But after, I was like, we were okay. We made friends. We found local hotspots, like little local restaurants. My kids had play dates. Like it was actually okay. Maybe we could do this permanently. Not that we're moving to California, but maybe we could leave our hometown. Like that changed everything for me.
One little thing that you said putting groceries in the fridge there. Little things like that. Like, God, when we moved to the Outer Banks, we went to the grocery store and we were putting our groceries in for the first time. I'm like, home really is anywhere you want it to be. We just really get stuck in like, we can't move because this is here. Well, guess what? There was a YMCA in California. There were grocery stores. There were things to do. And now it's ironic I'm talking about this because guess what? I got nothing down here. After this podcast, I'm driving an hour and a half to get to the Target. Okay.
Oh my gosh. How far is your Starbucks? Where's your closest Starbucks?
That would be the Nag's Head Harris Teeter Starbucks, and that's about an hour and 15.
Oh,
But I know. You know, when I box you and I go, Angie, I don't want to brag, but I did get Starbucks today. And you got like one there, one there. But for us, we wanted to be purposely inconvenient because we weren't just looking for a decluttered physical life, but we wanted a decluttered life of noise and choices of places to go and spend money and shop. We wanted that to feel kind of like a big deal when we got to that stuff, which that's why we love being down here. Yes, sure, we can get flooded in and not being able to leave for days. That just happened to us on the storm.
There's one way in and one way out.
Oh yeah. Hey, I guess I could get a friend with a boat. I think I do have several friends with boats. They could boat me out, but we like being inconvenienced, so that all those other things feel like big deals. But you got a taste of that, like, oh, I could live, because you did live in California for a month. You lived there. Visiting a couple days, a whole different ball game. It wasn't a week vacation. It was a whole month.
Yeah.
And I love that you did that, because that, I think, planted a little seed for you.
Girl, it
and then it escalated.
If I never did that trip, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. But I just feel like we're in this cycle. You know, we've been here for so long, and we love it here. We love having our family here. But I'm just like, you know, what would a shift in like mindset and energy, like what would that do for our lives? And we've had numerous long conversations about it. So we're really planning for it. But I feel like if people are trying to decide, I don't know if I would do well in a different area, or I don't know what type of area I want to visit, like take the time and make that 1 week, 2 week, 1 month extended trip and just settle and just, you know, feel how it would feel if you lived there. You know, I would love to go to California. I would love to move there, but that's not going to happen. Not anytime soon. We love the Florida area, and we already did a month in California. Now I'm like, okay, maybe we could do a week or two in Florida sometime over the next 18 months and just see what it feels like to live there for a little bit.
The normal things, go into normal places, walk into a YMCA, walk into a grocery store. It starts to feel more like, you start to realize that, like, just because you've been somewhere for a long period of time and you have established things there, it doesn't mean you have to stay there. And if you get a little feeling that, I don't know, what would life be like somewhere else? It is worth investigating that and just being like, maybe it doesn't mean that you're not grateful for where you live. And some people actually live in towns that they love, but they don't love their neighborhood. It's funny because you move down the street. Some people are in Hampton Roads and they're Newport News, but they'd really like to get to a certain part of Chesapeake or Virginia Beach. You can find another place locally too, but what is the harm? What's the worst that can happen? And moving, a lot of the time, I think people think moving is running away. Like, think life will be better. It will be better. I won't have these problems. You're going to have problems. Things are going to happen anyway in your life, but going to a place where you can heal, like this place was healing. We got in a car accident, and I, like, living here, I just was like, I think I'm meant to just live my life, good or bad, here. It is so healing to be in the salt air, to be in a slower, quieter, stiller place. Like, it was so worth taking the risk. And the risk wasn't even that much of a risk. It really wasn't at the end of the day.
You have to measure the risk versus the reward. And you guys are so rewarded there.
The reward is like, sure, I have my primary care physician, hour and a half up the beach. Sure, that's not great. But when I go up there, we knock out a bunch of stuff, and it's a beautiful drive. I get to literally see the ocean. The oats are moving. Sometimes when I drive home and the sun is setting, a lighthouse is literally lighting up, like pulling me home back to my part of the island. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it's real. And because you talked to me, that I appreciate it. 10 years, I've never stopped appreciating it. I appreciate it even more every single day. And even our daughter is like, you think kids aren't paying attention? They don't care. But the other day at the kitchen table, they said, we really love living here. Don't you love our little island? It's so little and cute. There's 300 kids in their elementary school. That's it. That was like my grade growing up. I had 300.
That was my graduating. I think we graduated with like 400 kids.
They love it. It's just, it's what we all needed, you know?
Amanda, where would you live that's completely different from your beach lifestyle now? Like what's another place you would live? I think I
I
might know
bet
it.
you know. Now, I would only live there part time. Like, I
Uh-huh.
don't think I'd want to live there more than like 2 months a year. But this is the ironic part. New York City,
Totally
right
different.
in the busiest,
Uh-huh.
loudest part of it. And this is so funny because we live in the Outer Banks. We live in Hatteras, super slow. Oh my God, what a dream. Quiet, just like salt air. And
Hmm.
where do we vacation? New York City. Like Times Square, loud as it gets. We love it. We just love how different it is. I mean, there's
Yeah.
like a Starbucks on every single corner, and that to us is a huge deal. There's stores, there's the smells, the noises, the lights. It's so bright here. The lights are off and sometimes you can see the Milky Way. I mean, it is so
Oh,
clear out here. There's
you
like a
see those
lights off
stars
rule.
Cammy was
That
looking for.
and you know what the best part of that is? With Cameron and the stars, we literally just went a couple weeks ago at 4 in the morning. I woke her up and somebody said, "You got to get out there this week. It's really clear." And we sat in the van, blasting in the heat with our heads like this out of it, watching shooting stars. Like
Wow.
that little 2-year-old girl, went to see
Yeah.
more stars and she's seeing her first shooting stars
Oh,
right in front of my eyes. And I'm like bawling in the car, because
I
now
love
she's
that.
12
Yeah.
and she was 2. It was 10 years ago.
And it
And if we just listen to those little voices and take these
yeah,
little cues, like you said, we brush them off.
we do.
We're like, don't dream like that. That's crazy talk.
Right, that's a
Moving to
crazy
Florida.
dream. That's way out there. I love that you would do New York. I feel like you could also do like a home swap and have somebody in New York come and stay in your
Hey,
house. How fun would that
I
be?
wanted a holiday with someone.
Yes, like a family holiday, like a
Yeah.
family vacation. When I think of like a most random type of place that I would live, I am obsessed with following on Instagram, TikTok, the homesteading accounts with like the
Wow.
farm
Yes.
and the chickens and the horses. Like I don't think I'd ever live that life, but gosh, wouldn't it be fun for my boys to just run in
Oh,
the
free.
pastures
Uh huh. Go
and
on.
play with chickens and like we could have a garden. Like I would love that. I think probably as equally
Yeah.
an equal amount as I would living in like a fun town like the suburbs of Orlando. I would be fine on a farm. Sean would
Yeah.
not be fine.
He'd be like,
He'd be bored to
these chickens,
death.
stuff
But yeah.
smells.
But you know what? I could do like a week or a month on a farm. These little like trips, I can just kind of like trigger things in you and kind of see if you like it, just to test it out. It would be fun.
2 months, I think, tops in a year.
Hmm.
I would love to do something where, like, for 6 months, for 5 months, I'm living on the Outer Banks, then I go get a month in New York. I would
Yeah,
love to do that and divide my time up. That would be ideal. And you know what? I always say, like, I don't want to brush it off. I don't want to brush this off. I'm like, oh, that'd be so hard. I don't know if that could ever happen.
yeah,
People dream about living in the Outer Banks. They save up and they for 1 week a year, they work so hard to get 1 week a year here, and I'm here and I'm living here. So what makes me think that I can't go do a month in New York City? You
exactly.
went to California, and I'm like, I think I could pull that off
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's so true.
yeah. And for people listening who maybe they're like, oh, I never want to move. I love my area, or I just don't feel like I'm called to go somewhere else. What tips can you give to make their current town just feel like their dream town, like shifting their mindset, shifting what they do to make it feel like they have leveled up into a different area, but they're still in the same area. Like they just want to make it better.
Well, they could move down the street like you did, because that's actually a really good idea. I
That is
think
a
a
good
lot of it is a good idea. It really is.
idea.
I think starting with the place that you are every day, and that's your home. Is there can you do home renovation? Are there some different things you want to do to change up your home, your environment there, starting with that? Because sometimes that is the change that you need. I don't know if you need to rearrange furniture or if you need to paint your walls or do something different. But then also going out and discovering other parts of your town. Just go a little bit outside your town, especially if you're in something like Hampton Roads. You
Yeah.
can go. We lived in Norfolk, we lived in Virginia Beach, and I'm like, we can go to Chesapeake, Newport
Hmm.
News, Hampton, Portsmouth, Williamsburg's right up there. There's
Right.
so much on the outskirts of where you live too. And if you're happy where you are, that's fine. But there's so much to be found on the outskirts of stuff too. But sometimes it's your own home that you feel a little like bored with. That's why we will go do a full declutter. Like,
Yep. Start over.
oh yeah. And we don't even have to go buy a bunch of new stuff, just like rearranging a
Yeah.
room. I'm like,
Mhm.
looks like we're in a new house. But really we just like
Absolutely.
move the couches.
I'm telling you, when we've been decluttering the past few weeks, I feel like we're almost in a new home. Like it just feels so much better. Amanda,
Lighter.
I love that you said that about visiting the outskirts because you know how I am about my farmers markets. Like we
Oh,
have farmers
Yorktown.
markets. Yeah, we have one in Yorktown, but like pretty much every other city in our area has its own farmers market. And so for years, we would just go to our personal farmers market. That's 15 minutes down the road. But in the last 2 years, I'm like, okay, this month we're going to go to the Virginia Beach Farmers Market, near the ocean front, or we're going to go to the Chesapeake Farmers Market. And it's giving us, we're still in our, 1 hour vicinity, but
Yeah.
it's giving us a chance to really explore the outskirts of where we live. And it's exciting. I've been
Yeah.
here my whole life, but to be able to check out different areas that are nearby that I probably had never seen in my
Right.
35 years, I'm like, this is kind of nice.
Well, go find things that you like to do where you already are, just somewhere else. I mean, you don't have to get on a plane and go across the country, but exactly that. I know you love farmers markets. That is
Yeah.
like one of your on brand things to do. You like Saturday, we're at the farmers market. I'm
Right
like,
the
oh,
market.
I'm deep cleaning a rug again. Like Angie's at the farmer's market. Maybe we need to go up the beach or do something. But finding stuff you like just on the outskirts of where you already are can be so much fun.
Mhm.
You might find one of those that you like better than the one you've been going to. Look, you could even go to a different Target down the road. You never know. Like it could be a store too.
Ooh.
You could be like, I'm going to check out the Williamsburg one. Maybe it's not so
Right.
bad.
Oh my gosh,
Actually,
that's
I've been to one of those. I didn't like it in Williamsburg. I don't like that one. Take it back. I was like, bathroom break on the way traveling, and I said, I'll never go in this Williamsburg Target again. But there are many other things that you can do where you already live. You
I
really
love
can. And maybe it's your house. Maybe it's even downsizing. Maybe you are in a house and you like it, but you don't love it. Maybe you just need something smaller. Some people don't consider that. It's less to clean. You know what I can do? I can plug my vacuum in right there in the hall
huh?
and I can hit every rug in the house
No,
without unplugging it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Low maintenance.
This was so helpful. My mind is like racing now for how to prepare for a move in the next pretty much 18 months and also how to really love where I am while we're here. And so I hope that, those listening have started to kind of just like dream a little bit, just dream
Just a
about
little.
whether you want to move across the street, an hour away, across the country, or if you just want to make some shifts in your own home to make it feel like you have just changed your lifestyle. There's so many ways to do
Yes.
that.
Yes. It really, just like that. I watched it happen with you this summer. Just permission. Like
Hmm.
when we have been doing things a certain way for so long, we don't even allow ourselves to consider any alternate reality. We don't
Hmm.
even allow it. Like I was like, no, Mike works in Virginia Beach and I have a million clients here. I like would always block that idea. And then I remember we're like coming back for from our honeymoon here on the Outer Banks. And we're like holding hands, going over the Wright Memorial Bridge. And I was like, one day we'll retire here. It was just this sad, like, blah. And then like 2 years later, two and
Uh-huh.
a half years later, we're like driving onto the Wright Memorial Bridge with a U-Haul. Oh my
Wow.
God, what a dream. Because we just let ourselves think that thought. Like, what if things were different?
What
Like,
if?
can we really not do this? And then we realize, like, not only can we do this, we should do this and we have to do this. And
Right.
I don't regret it one bit. Not
I
one
love
bit.
it. I love it. Amanda, thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting with me today. This was
Thanks
so
for
fun.
having me.
Where can our listeners check you out? Instagram, website, all the good stuff.
Really, if you're looking for an Outer Banks photographer who is just, and you know what? My 12-year-old daughter works with me now.
Oh, I love that.
And we have become a mother-daughter team. That same little girl who told me we should move
I'm gonna
rides with me. I know. She rides with me to sessions. Okay.
Wow.
She loves what she does. people are tipping her like girls making money.
Yes, honey. 12 years old. I love it.
Kim, AmandaHedgepeth.com for family photography. I mean, really, that's all I'm doing now, strictly family photography. I'm on Instagram, Amanda Hedgepeth OBX. OBX sounds is the abbreviation for Outer Banks. A lot of people know that. And same with Facebook. Nothing fancy. I'm just chilling, living life, hanging on the beach.
Check her out if you are traveling to the Outer Banks. Even if you've ever thought of just having like family photos taken there, do it and call Amanda. She is amazing. The town is gorgeous, beautiful, the beach, everything. And that is just her expertise. Like, she lives there. She knows the vibe. You've taught me so much in the photography space.
Oh, thanks.
And I even hired her, like, can you shoot my family, please, in the Outer Banks? And we have them framed around our house. So if you are traveling there, or even if you've never heard of the Outer Banks, or you're just like, what is this place? I mean, you've probably heard of it. We forgot to talk about the Netflix show called Outer Banks.
which really does confuse people because it's not filmed here.
It's not filmed there. It's filmed in, I believe, South Carolina.
And look, the real Outer Banks is so much better. It really is than people could ever imagine. It really is. And it's beautiful. This is simple. This is not the place to go for a boardwalk or anything crazy. It is that small, toned down, quiet little beach place. But you know what? You got to go down here to Hatteras. You got to go south. It gets better the further south you go.
I love it. And Amanda, dare I say, I want this podcast to just impact one person. Every episode, just one person. Dare I say, someone listening to this right now has probably dreamed a little bit bigger and made a decision to just talk to a spouse, talk to a family member about moving, whether it's 10 minutes away, 20 minutes away, a flight away, or just like you said, revamping their current situation. I really hope that somebody took something from this and is going to just dream a little bigger. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I believe it. We know a lot of people who are moving literally here just because we've shared our story. Even some of them down the road, they bought property and they're coming. And I'm like, good for you. That's why we share. I just want to plant that seed just in case.
You planted the seed. So thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out Amanda when you're headed to the Outer Banks. All right. Thank you. Hey, friend. Thank you so much for tuning into the Angie McPherson Show. I hope this episode ignited a fire within you, motivating you to take bold and inspired action. As a gift for listening, I've created a free download of my business toolkit featuring all the essential tools and apps I use to grow my business. Just head over to angiemcpherson.com/toolkit to get your copy. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and leaving a rating or review wherever you're listening. And if you're feeling extra generous, sharing the podcast with a friend goes a long way, and I am truly grateful for your support. For any resources and links mentioned in today's episode, make sure to check out the show notes. Keep moving forward, friend, as each step takes you closer to your goals. I'll catch you next week for another episode.